All right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Truth, but I give you the truth as I see it. As you guys know, I have not made a lot of videos as of late, and you may have seen some of the kind of sort of cryptic, weird messages I've sent on Twitter. We have a lot to talk about after the Holo brief. It has come to my attention that a lot of people who especially are new or have been around for a while have not watched my previous videos on hot slash Holofuel. And so I'm really going to update you guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's why I'm called a Crypto Truth. I'm not going to give you guys a bunch of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, although a little bit of that will be there. But that was not created on my end. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I want to say that I want to let you guys know that the Holo chain and Holo organization with an S, units, whatever, I do believe that they have some kind of value. So it's not as if the company or the organizations itself have not created value. But I would like to talk about the tokenomics of everything. Have you guys seen my X on my X, my tweet that I put on X? I stated that the tokenomics for Holo chain or the hot for the hot token and just overall for Holo is just so confusing. Well, not confusing, but weird. And there's a reason why it's not. And I believe this is why Mary Camacho said in her AMA that it's one of the difficult projects. Well, there's a reason why it's difficult, because a lot of times some things just doesn't make sense. And you really, if you have any kind of intelligence whatsoever, and that's including me, then you will, I'm trying to do, oh, okay, there it is. Then you would definitely try to make sense of it all, of where we are and where your investments are and what you're actually trying to go as far as your investments. So I want to have a little chat with you guys today about the hot token, about Holofuel. If you're new to this, I apologize. I probably won't dumb it down for you, only because I've made so many videos, and this could take a very long time to really get into the nuts and bolts of it. So for some of you guys that may need a history lesson, please go back and see some of my older videos. It should be in the search bar. You can be able to see my older videos on hot slash Holofuel, and it kind of goes a little bit deeper. But I'm still going to go deep, but we need to have a conversation. Before we do, we need to have a bit of a history lesson of exactly what has happened, not specifically with the timeline, but let's talk about what has happened. Okay, reject additional cookies. That screen was annoying me. What has happened in the past, right? So let's go ahead and get started. So I have had hot for a very long time. I've had the same amount of hot for a very long time. And when I say exact same amount, I mean exact same amount. That does not mean that I have not taken profits. It just means that I have the exact same amount that I did when I initially invested in hot. So the amount of tokens. Now, as we know, it's what is it? 177.61 billion hot tokens out there. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in later on, but please just keep that circulating in your mind. So hot really took off, and it got up to approximately 3 cents, or for some areas 3 cents. I want to tell you guys that in the AMA, someone brought up the Turkish lira. And let me explain why that's important, because here's what happened. And I know this is what happened. A lot of people invested, including myself, and bought a little bit of hot, right? We bought some hot, and we were just, a lot of us were letting it sit. Well, Binance, not Binance US, it was not created at the time. Binance stated, we got to get the hell out of the United States of America. Because, and by the way, sorry. I just as a mental note, I am going to talk about Mary Camacho's comments about how apparently easier it was in the past compared to now of putting all of that. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I'm going to call it what it is, and that's BS. That's my own personal opinion, not anything against Mary, but that is not true. And let me explain. I'm going to explain that later as well. So as you guys can see, we have a lot to talk about. So going back to here, a lot of people invested in hot. The only place you can purchase hot was on Binance, pretty much. And what Binance did was they said, we got to get out of the United States. So they gave everyone a timeline and said, hey, you have 7 days, 2 weeks, I don't remember what it was, to get your tokens and put them elsewhere. Well, there were some major exchanges, and it just so happens that one of the, there's a couple of major exchanges in Turkey that, not at this point when it was 3 cents, but a little bit before, that held high. So what happened was a lot of people were like, well, we got to get out of here. So a lot of exchanges, a lot of the liquidity went to these Turkish exchanges because United States not available in Europe because of, well, yeah, in some parts of Europe. Miss Mary Camacho was right about that, but overall it was not available. So we only had a couple of exchanges, and a lot of liquidity went into the hot lira. Oh my God, pair. Thank you. Sorry. Hot lira pair. Now, if you guys remember, and I remember it solidly because while I didn't have, and by the way, you guys, 90% of my current portfolio is in hot. So I don't want, you may think that I'm an idiot. You may think that I'm stupid, but I'm giving you guys the rundown and my honest opinion about what is going on and what may or may not happen. So, at this point, a lot of people had their crypto and especially those in Turkey. Now, here's something. I feel so bad for you guys in Turkey because here's what happened. Do you guys remember over in Turkey? And I've seen it because I didn't have a lot of hot. I had a little bit of hot in the Turkish hot lira pair because I like to separate everything and have it in different places. But oh my God, for some strange reason, Turkey went on this rampage on shutting exchanges down, and people were not getting their money. Well, first off, a lot of people in the U.S. were they're for lack of a better word, they're effed. They're effed up. They're stuck. And a lot of exchanges got shut down, and this was terrible timing because right when it gets to 3 cents, you have all of this hot that you can possibly withdraw. And I know some of the major exchanges over in Turkey, you could not withdraw the money. You could not. Even when I tried to, I could not withdraw my funds from the exchange. And now on top of that, you still had a lot of exchanges being attacked, being shut down. The government was like, oh my God, it was like Armageddon. And I'm like, holy crap, for real? So it's crazy when I'm looking at the timeline, a lot of people lost a lot of their profits because they could not take, not that they didn't want to take profits, they could not take profits out. Now, what happened shortly after that? It went down, 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 down. Baby, are you down, down, down? Sorry, you guys. All right, so it went down. It went down majorly. I mean, look at this short period of time here. Very, very short period of time from this point to this point. I mean, it went up and then it just went straight down, hit almost like rock bottom. And you guys can see here, we're not too far away from that as far as new lows. And so a lot of people in Turkey are pissed off, as they should be. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be, are pissed off. Why? Because at this point, there was a lot of positive news. You had Mary Camacho, Art Brock, Eric Harris Braun. Like, there's a lot of they were trying to do some AMAs. They were trying to promote the project. There were other major crypto. You know when you get in big when you have other major crypto YouTubers out there. Guy, I think, made a from Coin Bureau, I believe, made a video on HOT. You had some of the other major people out there. They all made videos on HOT, and so it was just extremely popular. And then all of this bad stuff happened. Binance leaving. You can't withdraw your HOT, and for some people, by the time they were able to withdraw their HOT, they had already lost the profits, and a lot of people were like, well, screw it, I'll just leave it in there. And pretty much that's what's been happening, is that a lot of people were hoping for getting back to that 3 cent mark, or 0.028, whatever. But a lot of people were trying to get there, or waiting to get there, and it just have not come into fruition. And here's the thing, in my own personal opinion, I don't know. This is just the I don't know. We can talk about worth all we want, but do I honestly think that it's going to get back to 3 cents? This year, I don't know. And honestly, if I had a pendulum, the pendulum would be swinging to no. That's what a pendulum would be. But you guys know this is crypto. Anything can happen. But let me give you guys an honest opinion of why I think not. Unless they are listed on U.S. exchange in more pairs. And again, here we go. Side note, as I stated before, I've been trying to tell you guys, please pay attention. They're going to be shutting down. It's not Operation Choke Point 2.0. It's more like Operation Choke Point 1.0. I don't know. But they're trying to make a choke point for U.S. citizens so that they cannot. Basically, everything is geared toward having a USDC pair, not a USDT pair. And a lot of exchanges have USDT pairs, not so many USDC pairs. And if they do have USDC pairs, they don't have the tokens or a whole lot of tokens. So be on the lookout for that. But let's get back to here. So once again, now we've been in like this holding pattern for value. From 2021 to 2025, as of yet, we have the markets, the availability in the U.S. markets have gone almost nowhere. So let's check this out here. We're gonna go back up here for a second, but let's check this out here. This lists all of the exchanges. So as far as where it's listing. Binance, USDT, keep that in mind. Binance, HOT, TRY, Turkish Lira. BitGet, HOT USDT, MEX USDT, Gate USDT, HTX USDT, Crypto.com, HOT USD. there's something going on there. I actually did some research on that. That is very sketchy. Be careful with that. And it's not in the US, by the way. Bing, Binance, Bitmart. Those are the top 10, I guess, right now. Let me see here. Is there any more information? Okay. So yeah. So once again, all of this liquidity is still not in the United States. Now, you can take this as a positive or you can take this as a negative, right? The positive thing is that if it is not in the United States, it's have a whole hell of a lot of room to grow. If it's not in a lot of places in Europe or Europe, USD T pair, that again, that it has a lot to grow. Okay, so a lot of the market has been cut out from this. Now, why am I talking about these exchanges like this? What is the purpose? The purpose is that once again, the total supply is 177 billion hot. The circulating supply is 175 billion hot. Okay. Oh, I don't know what this. The profile score is a measure of the completeness and freshness of the data provided by the project and CoinMarketCap information. Interesting that they have it at 65%, but they are always putting new projects on here. So hot at 259 market cap. You guys can see here at 8. That's the volume of market cap. Oh, there it is, 172, right in front of my face. It was a snake, it would have bit me. All right, so the point is with all of this is that there's a lot of room to grow. Now, we can sit here and we can go here. These are other exchanges. There's Try again. Bitmart has an ETH pair. I don't know how valuable that would actually be. Oh, anyways, we can go on like this almost forever. So, Bitra has a hot Cardano pair. Interesting. That's very interesting. But anyway, you guys can see here. Here's the volume percentage, and if we go back here, the volume percentage is quite high for it seems like HTX and Binance. All right, so okay, that's history lesson over with. Now, what is happening now? We have 177, and by the way, we're going to switch over and we're going to start talking about Holofuel and this whole swap thing because a lot of people don't know how it's going to work. Let me give you guys a big, huge secret. I'm going to tell you this. I don't even think that the Holochain Holo team knows how it's going to work. And I know a lot of you are like, why do you keep saying Holochain and Holo? Because they are all interconnected. They might be different programs and different organizations, but they're connected. And I'm going to get into a little bit of a deeper topic because there's a philosophy behind Holochain organization and what they're trying to do compared to what they're actually looks like they're planning on doing with the hot token. So Mary said, going back to what Mary said about the hot token and how, it's complicated and, being listed on the exchange and all you had to do was pay. My question is this: how come you just didn't pay before? My first question is, if that was the case, then how come you just didn't pay before? She said it was an exorbitant amount, right? Okay. So first off, it was the money. Now it's the process, right? I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is just the straight truth. I don't have, you guys know I'm extremely independent. If you guys don't know what that means, it means that I'm neither Democrat or Republican, and I don't lean heavily in either way at all. I don't even lean slightly in either way at all. I don't have a lot of trust for the government, and I think that most people in the government are snakes. So Mary Camacho is very much a I know she leans Democrat. Now, again, I don't think she's an evil person. There's a lot of people in my family that lean Democrat, whatever. But I take off my my hat, politics hat, and let's put on a business hat. And from a business perspective, when we're talking about a lot of her comments have been, hey, oh, it was complicated then. Do we not remember what Gary Gensler was doing? Do we not remember about, and I think she even slightly said something of how difficult, the whole reason, you guys know why they're in Gibraltar and not in the United States, is because they know for a fact that if they were in the United States, there would be a whole lot of pressure. There's a whole lot of regulation, and that was very murky, right? And now the regulations are less murky, and they still seem to be having problems being listed on exchanges. But let me give you guys a heads up of exactly why they're having problems being listed on the United States exchange. Now, let's walk this through. Remember, I told you guys, so we keep this in mind, that there was 177 billion hot. Now, let's keep that in mind now. So right now, the purpose, the goal of what they're trying to do is they're trying to use Holofuel. It says Holofuel will serve as an internal account system for pricing, payments, and resource allocation. Totally cool. I'm cool with Holofuel. I don't have any problems with Holofuel. I don't have any problems with the thoughts of Holofuel. The problem that I have is that for a very long time, we had so many people talk about, well, hot is never going to be used. Hot is trash. Hot is for fiat gambling and everything. These are the same people that are tied to not working for the organization, but they're Holochain fans, or they're Holochain Holo fans, and they had everything negative to say about hot. Don't you guys think that's kind of counterproductive? In my own personal opinion, I think that's extremely counterproductive. But in some ways, let's just be truthful about this, in some ways they have a point. First off, and I've always said this, Holofuel is not available. You can talk all you want about the amazingness of how great Holofuel is, but guess what? It's not here. It's not here. And it hasn't been here for 2025, 2019. It hasn't been here for a very long time. Let's just put it that way. So everyone out there, these fanboys out there, Holofuel is going to be the greatest thing in the world. We don't know that. Holofuel is going to be the most adopted thing for oh my God, transactions. Thank you. So it's not here. I'll tell you what is here. Hot is here, and that is the first thing that people who are coming into the project, that is the first thing that they are recognizing, is like, oh, okay, wait 1 second here. Let's walk through this, right? And so let's go ahead and excuse me 1 second here. I'm actually yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Let's walk through this. I purchased hot. Now, right now, it has no utility. Now, it does have a little utility. Let's be honest. We're paying people on hot, blah 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 blah, and getting your hollow ports and these devs, and they're paying. Okay. Obviously, there's not a lot of, there's not a lot. The total supply, max supply is not available because there's no max supply. But we're going to get into max supply because that's going to be an interesting thing. So let's get into this whole swap thing. So we have hot, and we're supposed to swap it. They're going to give people 6 months and say, okay, well, Holo hosting is live. You can now earn Holofuel. And other people, by the way, from outside the that's on the exchanges can purchase Holofuel. Wait, what? Because Holofuel is eventually going to be on exchanges. Now let's walk through this. If I'm an intelligent person and I'm purchasing hot, and I'm like, wait, everybody's going to switch, or a lot of people are going to switch and transfer everything over to Holofuel already with a max supply of 177 billion, already with a lot of people going into Holofuel. By the way, we're going to get into the tokenomics of that, but now the liquidity is going to be even lower because people are going to be like, why in the world, let's think about this. Why in the world would I hold a token that I have to swap over that I can purchase with fiat currency and or earn from holoports and or transfer over? So, and they have stated that the hot is going to be part of their reserve. You guys know what that means? That means that whatever they have, and it's not going anywhere. It's not being used. People are not going to be using it. People are either going to earn Holofuel or they're going to have hot and they're going to switch it over to Holofuel. They're going to purchase hot. Now, they're saying, oh, well, companies and organizations are going to purchase hot and then they can, with fiat, and then they can purchase Holofuel. Makes no sense. You guys see what I'm saying about, this is what I meant when I was on Twitter and I stated that the whole tokenomics of this project does not make any sense. Now, let's take this back into the United States of America. You're a regulator and you're like, well, what is this project? Well, what are we doing here? Oh, well, this is the hot. It is a placeholder. Now, it's no longer just a placeholder, but let's keep it real here. Though at the end of the day, the goal for the Holochain / Holo organization is to create a mutual credit currency. Again, this is why I say Holochain / Holo, because Holochain has the philosophy. The Holo has the means into which to operate and fulfill that philosophy of having a mutual credit currency. So, what's happening with hot? Well, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with hot. People are going to eventually, right? And this is a if, people are eventually gonna purchase hot, and we're gonna have it here in this bull run. This is, look, I'm called a crypto truth people. I'm trying to give you guys the truth. 90% of my portfolio is in hot right now. That's just the truth of the matter. So you guys know that I ultimately want the best for this project. But let's keep it truthful. Let's keep it real, whether we like it or not. The fact of the matter is, a lot of people are going to purchase hot. They're going to be like, oh man, Holochain is doing this. Holo is doing this. Oh wow, this is a great project. Oh, RWA. Oh, awesome. So a lot of money is going to start pouring into this project, especially during the bull run. And people are going to be like, oh my God, this is great. And then they're going to start doing research. And then they're going to start understanding more and more. And then they're going to be like, wait. So I purchased this and I have to switch over to Holofuel. Oh no, you don't have to switch over to Holofuel. You can keep your hot. But a lot of people who are holding hot are going to switch over to Holofuel. Again, if I'm a regulator, if I'm thinking about this from an investment standpoint, why the hell would I do that? And so now it has been stated by Mary Camacho and Arthur Brock. I don't say Eric Harris Braun too much because he really doesn't talk about it too much. He's more on the, a lot of times, he's just talking about Holochain technical side of things, all that stuff, respectable. But the more complicated part here is talking about hot and Holofuel. And they've been talking about this for a long time now. You guys go listen to the AMAs really pay attention to the AMAs, and you understand that, wait a second, their intent is for Holofuel. Their intent is not for hot. And so what the hell, well, why the hell would anybody hold hot? Why? And so at this point, the people who are talking about, oh, it's just a gambling token, they may have a point. And while I don't like it, it's the truth. And this is what some of these crazos, and I'm calling them crazos, these crazo holochain fans, you guys know holochain holo fans, you guys know who they are, extremely negative about everything. But from this point of view, they actually have a point. And by the way, if they have this much of a point, and they're the ones who talk to, some of them talk to holochain and the holo organizations behind the scenes. We do know this. Some of them have connections or directly have had connections with a lot of the people who work with holo. What does this mean? Does this mean, if this is true, if this is their ultimate goal, a lot of people who are holding hot are screwed. That's including myself. And that's real. And so at this point, this is a highly, highly risky project. Because a lot of what they have done, a lot of what they're doing has not at all been to the betterment of any investors. And that's why, remember you guys, I sent out those tweet earlier about, how all of the YouTubers out there that were gung-ho about holochain and holo and like their technology, and they've dug deep into it, and everybody who was excited about it no longer excited about it, no longer talking about it. Why is that? Because they hate what some of them did. They hate to come up. They hate to face you guys. They hate to say, well, I've been so inspired by this, and this is the greatest thing, and it's the best thing. And then all of a sudden they get hit with the reality of truth. Let me tell you guys something. I've been saying this for a very long time. That's why a lot of people can't make it out. They can't make me out. They're like, wait, is this guy a holochain fan or he's not a holochain holo fan? Like, does this guy hate crypto or does he love crypto? No. At the end of the day, let's take everything for face value. Let's face the truth. Let's see what it is, and we deal with it. And at this point, it is what it is. I've told people on X. I don't have time to sit here. Now, many of you guys have so much more money than I have. I have not had work in a long time, right? So I just kept my heart in there. Like, it is what it is. And that's it for me. And until I actually get a job where I can start investing, I am not. Let me put it this way. I am not and will not ever put another freaking dime into the hot token, and I'm not in Holofuel. I'm not putting any of my fiat currency into that stuff, even if it is a mutual credit currency, because the reality of it is that is not how the world works right now. And I'm sorry for clapping. I know you guys don't like that. My bad. That is not how it works right now. Okay? That is not how the world operates right now. Will it? Maybe. Eventually? Maybe. But guess what? If you had your investments into hot or holo, hot for a long time. Look how long. Let's go from, look at this. This is 2019 all the way to 2025. Bro, really? You have been holding for an extremely long period of time. And that's real. Right? That's almost, a little bit less than a decade of your life, of an investment. And so now, we want to get into the U.S. markets. How are we going to do that? Because right now, I can guarantee you, if anybody pulls some bull crap, and you guys know I curse. I'm cutting back for a reason. I'm gonna tell you guys at the end of the video exactly why. But if people are gonna fall into this bull crap of, okay, well, it's a placeholder. Oh, wait, no, it's no longer a placeholder. It has utility. Oh, how long is it going to have utility? That's the question. And why are people investing in it? That's the question. We have to keep it real. Now, okay, let's even jump in on the other side of things. By the way, all of this is speculation, but it makes sense to me. Tell me if it doesn't make any sense to you. Let's just say everything is rosy. Let's say people who bought hot Holofuel is starting to work. It is available, and holoports are ready. Everything is going great. Okay, let's work through this mentally, right? So you are going to switch over. Look at this. Until we implement Holofuel as an internal account system, micropayments and direct peer payments between customers will not be supported. I'm sorry, I got thrown off by that. So you're gonna switch over hot into Holofuel. By the way, let's talk about Holofuel for a second here. First and foremost, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to figure the site. Wow, I was reading this down here. They'll be able to figure it out of exactly how to switch over the hot to Holofuel. By the way, you guys, did you guys know that once you switch your hot into Holofuel, you can't take that same Holofuel and switch it over to hot? It only goes one way. Ever think about that? I hope you have. I've been talking about it for years. Hope you understand this. Also, let's say you purchase Holofuel. Let's say you switch over Holofuel, and now what are you going to do? What will somebody that has nothing to do with holoports, what are they going to do with Holofuel? Right? Well, you can take the Holofuel and you can, if you're an investor, your mentality is, I'm going to switch over my Holofuel, and then, because it's going to be listed on exchange, it's going to be new. Maybe it'll be available in the U.S. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Hot is not available in the U.S. Right now, so it's just not. But hey, you switch over your hot to Holofuel. Now you have Holofuel. What are you going to use it for? And if somebody's like, oh, well, you can create storage, you can do this, you can do this, wonderful, great. It's not even here yet. But let's say Holofuel is here. How much longer do you think it's going to take to create those types of stores, that type of interaction with local communities for you to use Holofuel? Let me tell you, the answer is not in this decade. It won't be before 2028. Nope. And if some of you guys are like, oh man, you don't believe in this project, or no, I don't believe in the business aspect of this project. I don't believe, and they know for a fact they have not done things the proper way as a business should. There are certain levels of companies and organizations that they reach, like as they grow, and they have not grown. As a business, they have not grown. Maybe from their technology standpoint, maybe from their organization standpoint, they've organized things. But as we're strictly talking about business, there's a reason why they got out of the United States and started everything in Gibraltar. And by the way, they have heavy connections over in California. We all know this. And so it's not like they don't have any idea of what's happening in the U.S. They do. But what's been done about it? And so a lot of people's efforts, other YouTubers and other people who have been seriously clamoring for this project to be successful, have all said the same thing. Your business practices for Holo and Holochain are absolute garbage. That's my opinion. And if you ask me, well, what would you do better? Oh, first off, you know what? Nope, I'm not even saying it because they're not even paying me. They're not even paying me. But I don't have to. I don't have to be paid. I love to offer ideas. I believe it was Rob, one of the guys that helps out with the holoports and runs the holoport. He asked for opinions. A lot of us holoport owners, we put our 2 cents in, or our 2 holofuel in. I don't know what you want to call it. And it was very interesting. Do I think that there are a lot of nice people. There are a lot of good people within the Holochain and Holo organization. I'm not hating on the people, but the business itself is not being run properly. I'm gonna tell you that now. I don't know. What they should have did was created a proper PR, public relations person, to be able to handle the communication, to be able to handle the scrutiny. By the way, speaking of scrutiny, there's a reason why Mary doesn't like, in her AMA, she stated that she doesn't really like Twitter all that much. Well, there's a reason why you don't like Twitter, because the way the project has been acting, everyone is calling them out on it. And Telegram is one of the, God, that's one of, nobody does anything on Telegram anymore. You want to know why? Because Telegram is one of the most scammy social media outlets out there. I'm sorry, it is. And that's Telegram. I'm gonna go Telegram, WhatsApp, all that stuff. No. And so a lot of the business practices are being called out. It is what it is. I think that Mary Camacho should spend more of her time or being used, not trying to explain things over and over, because some people have a lot of things explained. Mary Camacho may say something and people take it way out of context, and it's like, yo, like today she was saying that they promised whatever. No, the Holochain Holo team have not promised that HOT was going to be listed on exchanges. She said it right. What they were going to do is they were going to make it a priority, which I believe that they did. And I believe that they did it too late. There's a lot of things here wrong. There's a lot of things wrong with this project from a business standpoint. And that's the reason why people are like, wait, especially those who are HOT holders. Now, let's talk about Holochain. Because I do believe that Holochain, oh my God, the potential for Holochain is amazing. Might be personally, the potential for Holo should be amazing, is amazing. But I don't care how good your technology is, if you cannot adjust. By the way, let me finish this statement. If you cannot adjust to the times, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it. And by the way, let me go back and say this. Again, Mary Camacho, maybe she does not believe in X because she's heavily, a lot of people are leaning left on X. I've had X or Twitter for a little bit, and there's a lot of positive people and there's a lot of negative people on here. And you know what I do? Personally, what I do is I block everyone negative, which that's the whole reason why the naysayers, the Holochain fans that just can't see the truth, or Holo fans who can't see the truth, and they don't want to face up to either the what the project is right now. It's not what the project can become. It's what the project is right now. Okay? So, once again, as I stated before, even if Holofuel worked and was awesome, they don't know how it's going to work, because guess what? How are you going to have something? By the way, Holofuel is to be a static, have a static supply, which means that it's going to expand and contract depending on how many holoports are available, depending on how many people are on the network. How does that work if it's listed on an exchange? Because people who, and I tell you what they're going to do, they're going to see Holofuel on an exchange, especially these people who are millionaires. They're going to be like, you know what? I'll purchase like a million of it. And then it's just going to sit there. And then what is the value? How do you create, like, there'll be value created because Holofuel will be continuously used and not used. But wouldn't that throw off the point of actually having a mutual credit currency? You can't have it on exchanges. If you do have it on exchanges, it's not going to make any sense to have it on exchanges. You might as well have to use hot. That's the whole reason. This is the whole, and I understand why you can't do microtransactions with hot because it's an ERC20 token. I get all of that. I definitely get and understand what they're trying to do from a technical standpoint and why they're trying to make transactions faster and more efficient. And to prevent the double accounting. But people, let me tell you something. If you got something that could work, I know that there are plenty of people who would not mind having hot or using hot in these search situations. How do I know that? Oh, how do I know that, Chris? Because they're doing it with Bitcoin. Because they're doing it with Ethereum. They're doing it with XRP. They're doing it with all of these other projects out there. That's how I know. They don't mind paying the whatever small fee it is compared to actual the ability to be able to change how TradFi works, right? Or traditional finance works. Okay, so once again, it is what's happening now, and so everything, all of the positive news that we've been getting from the U.S. government and about how they're going to start treating cryptocurrencies and the availability. Look, man, this is like, for some of us, we could not have dreamed of crypto taking off like this. We could not have dreamed of it. We were like, man, but now we got all of these projects here that they're doing well, and they're having people are building on them and everything. So why not just use hot and then say, hey, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. And by the way, I don't know. This is just my own personal opinion. And once, and they're not going to do this. By the way, this is just a little bit of hope as well. Why not burn the amount of holo that is, instead of using it for your reserve, because even if they have it in reserve, it's going to lose value. Why don't you just burn it? Because if someone takes hot and put it in the Holofuel, they now have Holofuel. They're using that. Hot's not going to be used. And yeah, we got the whole 6 months thing. And yeah, maybe a year from now, a year from when it's actually available, maybe a year from when it's actually available, that they'll be able to, that people will still be able to be using hot or maybe doing some little things with it. But ultimately, let's be honest with you, there's a lot of projects on Holochain ready to go. Holochain ready to go, creating their own tokens on Holochain and ready to back the philosophy with Holochain. That's the truth of the matter. So for me, why not just burn all of the tokens that switched over to Holofuel? That way, everybody who's in the ecosystem who wants to participate in Holofuel and have Holofuel can, and everybody who has hot or wants to remain with hot actually has a reason to either hold or trade or do whatever with their hot, and they can still treat it like a regular ERC cryptocurrency token that is used a little bit every once in a while. And then everyone who comes in and says, oh, well, I want to be in Holofuel, I want to do this, or maybe the exchanges can't do Holofuel, can't put Holofuel on there, which is my best guess, by the way. I don't believe that Holofuel is ever going to be listed on exchanges. Mock my words on that. Mock it. Because I just don't see how you can put something on an exchange and not think that millionaires and billionaires are going to pour money into it. I don't understand. And then you want to create a mutual credit currency. You want to make something that's continuously used. Well, guess what? As long as we have something called a store of value, which it will always be, which Bitcoin will always be a store of value. Yeah, it can be used for other things. We already know stuff like that. But Bitcoin is really just a store of value. And the reality of it is that with millionaires and billionaires and people with a whole lot of money, they see they have an ability for a store of value. They're going to put their money in there, and they're just gonna have it sit. And guess what? Have they talked about this? No, because Holofuel is not even available yet. They got to make sure it can work on the holoports and not work on the holoports, but you guys know what I mean, on the updated holo process and programs. So whatever they're doing, it's not out yet, and it won't be for a long time. And so for me personally, all my extra money that I have is not going into hot. I am not purchasing another dime. I have not purchased another dime. And I'm going to tell you guys this as well. Come January, because we know that there's going to be a bull run. There's going to be an alt season. And when it will happen, I don't know when it'll happen, but there will be an alt season. And let me tell you something. When that happens, for me, after that happens, after this whole alt season happens, I'm out. When I tell you I'm out, I'm literally out. Because I don't trust my time and energy. And by the way, time and energy translates into fiat currency, which translates into crypto, however you want to see it. I am not trusting my time and energy and the things that I've done into a company or organization that does not have any kind of business sense. I don't understand. It's not even complicated. You make the tokenomics easy. You promote the tokenomics. You tell people what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. Bada bing, bada boom. They get invested in, they get involved with Holochain or Holo. And they say, I really love this project. I can really change the world with this project. I want to be involved with this project. I want to do things in this project. Oh, by the way, that builds the value. All of this stuff back then, back in the day when they were talking about no hype and everything else in between. What the hell do you mean? That's the whole purpose of being able to do all of this stuff. Oh, my head, right? So, all right, I'm done ranting. I'm done. I wanted to just give you guys a heads up on my thought process and what's been happening when it comes to hot and Holofuel. This is the reason why it's not listed. There's a big reason why it's not listed in the United States of America, because guess what? The tokenomics of it does not make sense. Where does that leave a lot of people in the United States of America, especially people who are just getting in, don't even understand the project? They just know that they bought hot. Guess what? They're screwed. And they bought something, or they came into something that they have no idea or ability to understand what their intentions are. At least with all these other bullshit tokens, at least those tokens are able to see. I couldn't help myself. At least those tokens actually have direction. They actually have a goal. They may not have the tech, and their tokenomics, but their tokenomics are simple. This is even meme coins. It's simple. You're a fan? Buy us. Not a fan? Hey, you know what? Buy us anyway. Pour money into us. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, I'm done ranting. I do want to kind of talk about something serious here. If you guys have noticed, I have not been making videos and then this is overall an overall market. I have found that spending my time, I do spend a lot of time doing a little bit of research in different areas. But I have found out that, not found out, but I'm kind of considering shutting down my YouTube page. And if at least, at the very least, for a year or so. But I've been contemplating that, and that's the reason why. There may be some things going down in the pipeline for me as far as work, as far as life is concerned. My time and energy is valuable. You only live one life. And you guys know I understand that because I had a widowmaker. I had a heart attack. Let me tell you something. It can end at any given point. I am not going to use my time and energy focused on trying on a project that does not respect other people's value that they're able to bring in. And that's not even just monetary. Okay. That's everything, because we humans are important. We have our own thought process. But one of the things that is very difficult for us humans to do is to understand the truth. And we have to accept that so we can move on with our lives, so we can do the things that we want to do in our lives. So, all right, you guys. Well, you guys let me know what your thoughts are. I am going to end it there. I always say this. You guys know this. Please, please, please do your own research, do your own research, do your own research. And last but not least, above all else, you guys, please, please stay safe out there, okay? Bye, you guys.